I realize why it keep on bright and then dark and stuff. I think it's the autofocus on the phone, but I don't know. I think so. Hi Mona, hi. Hi everyone! How is everyone? Let's see if there is more people joining us. So, have you guys seen this tutorial last Friday? If you didn't see it, you can rewatch it, and the link is in the post, like I think yesterday or the day before post. Hi. Today we are going to hi Sylvia. Yeah, today we're going to make a car. Hi Joan. And I think it's quite straightforward. I don't know why I am very nervous today. I don't know why. Shouldn't be. So I think. Hi Sarah, hi. Let's see if there is more people joining us. Hi Marina, hi. Okay, so today I am using Saracino modeling paste again, my favorite. And I think I'm going to make a red car. And yesterday I have used the Saracino black paste, and I have already made the wheel, and I have pre-poked the hole. So what you need today is Saracino paste, modeling paste, and a barbecue stick, and I think these are what do you call it? Lollipop stick. It have holes in the middle, and if you don't have this, you can use straws, plastic straws. I mean, I know you're not supposed to use plastic straws now, but if you're making things that you're not going to be able to eat and you're going to keep, I think it's okay. So we will need this. Hi Lorraine, hi. Mona, we are making a car today. Okay. Hi Christine, hi. Hi, yes, you are going to see me every Friday, so please tune in and watch me. Yeah, so I think that's it really, and we are using red Saracino modeling paste and brown and black. The brown is for a teddy bear, which is going to sit inside the car. The car is more towards a kind of like a toy car, a little one. So I think that's it, and I'm going to turn the camera down, and then you guys can see what I'm doing. Let me move this to the back of the camera so that I don't drop it. Oh god, oh no. Okay, so I'm going to turn it. Let me see. if this is any good. Right, we are using Saracino modeling paste. That is not what I'm using today. Oh, Christine, thank you very much. You share already. Right, let me move the light. Right, let me... Okay, so... Right, so this is, I don't know if you can see earlier. So I think the lighting is good. This is what I made yesterday. It's just roll out the paste with the spacer, and then use this. So I can do like one with light grey, because I don't want to use black, because normally black will stain the finger. So I'm just using grey at the moment. I just want to show you what I've done there. Hi Marina from Germany. I like the Presso logo. Right, so just use the spacer, and we want to use the highest. If you want your car to be away from the surface, then make your wheel bigger. So just like that. Turn it. And to prevent it stick to your cutter, I think one disadvantage with these metal cutters is this cutter I've been using for 10 years, so the shape is not really perfect circle anymore. Is it Elisa? Hi from Portugal. Hi. So I have put corn flour on the cutter and corn flour on the paste, and then just, hi Polly, slowly press it out. And you can see it's not perfectly circle. So what I did is I just roll it on the table where the bit which is not perfect, and then I will find the center of the wheel, and I just poke it. This you need to make a day before, so that it have time for it to dry. My studio lately is it's not damp, but it's not as dry as I want it to be. So these are not completely dry. So for this, you will preferably, all your parts will be completely dry. But as it is a demo, I think it's okay. You can tell when it is dry outside the surface. When you do this, the sound is very different. Hi Mom, my mom is watching. Okay, so that is how I did the wheel yesterday. So I put it down. So I reuse all my tub. I am using Saracino modeling paste, and they are in little package like this, and it is 250 grams. So it's Saracino modeling paste I'm using. I see more people have joined us now. Hi everyone. Is it Hakim? Forgive me if I have pronounced your name wrong. Hi. Okay, so we will move on. So you need to make this a day early, and make sure when you are choosing your barbecue stick, because these barbecue sticks are kind of like I don't know. I don't think it's handmade, although they made it in the factory, sometimes you find these not straight at all. They are like, they have a kink to it. I don't know if you can see it. Look, that one is not straight at all. So when you making models and stuff, make sure the first thing you look at is your barbecue perfectly straight, because it does affect your work. Okay, so now we will move on to red paste. Same again, I'm using Saracino paste, 250 gram. And oh my god, because there is another paste inside, it kind of dented. But it doesn't matter, because we're just going to roll it. And I am just going to use this size straight away. Let me see. Right. Come on, go to 0 for me. Okay, anyway, oh, done. Right, so that is about 123 gram. And this is about 5 gram. Or 6. Okay. Ah, that's good. Right, so I will try to get rid of that crease. Sometimes if your crease does not go away, if you kind of join them together like this, it saves you time, and then sometimes it will disappear by doing this as well. So I'll just go like this. Put it back. Right, and then I'm not so concerned about the crease, because that will be the bottom of the car. So now I am elongate like a sausage. Hi everyone, for the people who just joined us, I am making a car today. It's like a toy car. If the video is not too long, the live demo is not too long, I will make a teddy bear sitting in it. So it all depends how long you want the car and how thick you want it. And the wheel is kind of like that. So I want it like flatter. So I want the back kind of. Hi Julia from UK. I want it kind of like slightly slanted. Hi Lou. Sunrise FL. What is FL? Right, so I will flatten it a bit. Then because I want it slanted, so I will squash it. You can squash it on the table. So it gives you a nice round. Florida. Sunrise Florida. Hello, hello. Sunrise. What time is it there now? So I want the back like this. And then I want the front like this. And then flatten the front. So once you are happy with this, so our wheel will kind of sit there. So I don't mind the wheel kind of come out like this, because this is a toy car. So I'm happy with that actually. Okay. So now we will move on to this bit. you don't want it too close to the base. If you have time, once you have done what I'm going to do, then you let it dry completely before you insert this. So I am going to mark where I want the wheel. I think I want it like this. So it's kind of there and there. Okay. Right. So remember, this is quite sturdy. This is a lollipop stick. So you can just go directly down to it. Let me see if this is straight. Right, one. So a perfect hole. Right, quite happy with that. And use the barbecue stick and take it out. Right. I think you can keep this, but I might use it afterward. And then make sure it is level, because you don't want your car wonky when you're. So make sure it is level, and I want it kind of there, right. Right, you want, make sure it is straight down. If it is wonky, then your wheel will be wonky. Thank you, Mona. Right. I think these will be quite good if they are exhaust pipe, because they're perfectly cylinder. Is that the word? That is the word, but I think it's to describe that. Okay, so once you have done that, it's not really that perfect, but I think it's because on the other side. Anyway, it will work. Then you will want to measure this, put it back in. Right, put it back in, and then you want to measure. You can use a ball pen or a marker, and then you want the width of the tube. So I'll mark it there, and then take it back out. With this lollipop stick, you will need a sharp cutter. Right, okay. So you want two of these. Hopefully the other side is kind of like the same width, otherwise be sticking out. Right. Okay. So we have that. Then what you want is, you want to, hold on, let me, oh my god, forgot to take the glue out. You want to use some glue, some edible glue or water, and then you want to make sure you have some glue in the paste. Hi Dad, my father is watching. Right, so you then you push it back in. Should be flush with your paste. And if there is paste around, you want to poke it out. You don't want any paste in the hole. Right. So this is the basic structure for your car. Right, get rid of all the paste. Right, if it is not even on the table, you noticed, you kind of use your palm to. So for the wheel, make sure the body of your car is completely dry, because before you insert the wheel as well. Hi. So now we will carve out where the teddy bear goes. Actually, I will use a little square as a guide. So I want that as the front. So I sit it slightly back of the car, and then I mark it. So I create a compartment kind of, and I think I will add a little bit just for the steering wheel. Yeah. So this is just to mark out where I want to carve it out of. You want it quite kind of deep. This paste is so good, it is holding the shape, and I'm quite heavy-handed with it right now, and the shape does not really budge, which is really good. But if the shape have changed, you can just move it. Right, then you can start off with, don't matter if you make a line, because we're going to draw some line on the car in a minute. So slowly carve out what you don't want. Okay. Hi from St. Luca. Hi, hi. Thank you for tuning in again. Oh. So be careful with your hand when you're carving. It does not need to be perfect because when we have put the band, we're gonna cover it. We're gonna cover it. So we just want to make a kind of like a sitting area, really. From Hong Kong, Joan. Hi, hi. Oh no. Okay, I have made a mess, but just move it out. If you have acetate at home or some kind of clear plastic, you can put a shield at the front as well after. So, right, something like this. And we want... Hi, Kelly. Have you got your Play-Doh with you today? I remember you said last week you're going to have some Play-Doh with you. Or you're going to try to use Play-Doh to make something. Right, try to... it doesn't need to be perfect. As long as your edges is quite clean. I think I am happy with that. Right, okay. Right, so I'm going to put these away. Then let's get some black paste. Oh god. And then we want to have a thin black paste to cover the sitting area. So we already know the kind of width for that. So we're going to use this as a guide. Same again, this is Saracino modeling paste. Right, let me move it over there. So just rolled out a thin paste. Doesn't have to be extremely thin, but just thin. Because if it is thick, then you take the volume out from the space. Right, so I just lightly mark where I'm going to cut, so I know the kind of width that I need. Then kind of there, and I think I'm gonna have cut it there. We'll see. Then I will add some glue. You can use water. Is it Saka? Is it your name? Thank you for the hearts and the flower and the rose. Cute. Right, so that's not bad. That's not bad. So that will hide all the edges. I think I will need a bit of paste where the dashboard is. I don't like it like that. So, oh, lucky I didn't scrunch it up. So we kind of know the width already. So I just cut a tiny little bit. If it is too wide, you just cut it off. I think that's too wide. If it is short, you can always stretch your paste to the width you want. Right. For the places your hand cannot reach, make sure you use your tools. Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much time with it. Then I think we should have a, forgot to make this, we should have a steering wheel for it. I think that's a good size. Are they the same? I think this is better maybe. Right, so you want it kind of like you can use 2 barbecue stick as a guide for the steering wheel, I think. Quite sticky today. You see the black is already on my hand. Okay. Then actually, I think that's too big now. I want a hole in the middle. Right, let's see, is that the middle? Kind of is. Right, corn flour. Right, so is good. Slightly use your finger to tap all the edges, because sometimes you don't get a perfect cut. Oh my god. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to leave it. Okay, I put this away. And then I'm going to actually I want the thicker side at the bottom. So something like that. This is going to be a toy car, so everything will be out of scale, by the way. Then what we want is, if you don't want to kind of handle your car, always put it on the phone. Sorry, I saw some paste I want to smooth. Put it on the phone. Then you can hold on to the phone, because your hand sometimes will sweat. Then you kind of like, or you heavy-handed like me, you probably will change the shape of the car. So we want, because car have kind of like lines, so I just do 2 kind of lines there. I mean, because this is kind of like a triangle shape, so if you kind of like push it hard enough, it kind of create kind of like a nice dent for you. So something like that. So we want front and back the same. I need to put a back seat on as well. I need to add that in a second. Right, let me. When you're doing this, try to make sure all your lines are connected. Otherwise, you will see 2 different joints. The harder you push, the deeper the dent. I quite like it like this. So check if your car is kind of symmetrical, and then if it is not, you can just push it. Then I will, on that side, I will slightly push it in, like so, like that. So the front come out a bit more. So something like this. Right, let's add the back seat before I add the bag. So what you want is to make the end finish nicely. Is right, make sure there is no crease. I'm quite happy with that. And then is that good size? That's kind of good size. Okay, then I will chop the end there, and then I'll glue it down. So something like this. Then we will have some brown color paste. Ooh. Saracino again. This is quite straightforward. Don't forget, this is like a toy. So let's see. That should be enough for the head and the body. So I want the head bigger, so the body will be smaller. So do a tiny little circle. Then you want it like a teardrop shape. Right, my hand is quite sticky. Right, then you want to sit it in there. Because it is kind of like a sitting area already. So I have not used any glue. If your paste stick to your hand already, like this, sometimes you don't need water or glue because it will stick to anything really. Okay, so I think I need a little bit more for the head, but we will need a little bit of support for the head to go onto it. So you can use wire, but I just use what I have left with last tutorial. I have cut a cocktail stick. So what I want is get some edible glue. And then thing is sit in the middle, poke it in. Right. So something like this. Okay. Then I'll add a bit more paste. Look, this is Saracino paste. When you first get out of the pack, it'll be quite hard. You can warm it up in your hand or in the microwave. Christine. That is so cute, and this tutorial is really helping. Thank you. Oh, thank you for watching. And I noticed you have shared this demo. Thank you so much. If you guys like this demo, please share it on your Facebook, please, and it will help the traffic on my page. So slowly break down your paste, and you will see that it will become quite smooth and stretchy. I mean, if you put it in the microwave with this little amount, honestly, 3 to 4 seconds is enough, not longer than that. Right, if there's any unwanted paste. Okay. So let's see. Okay, I'm happy with that. So make sure there's no crease. Saying that, I think I need more than this, more paste, because there are still arms and the ears and the nose. Okay, look how shiny this is. This reminds me of Maltesers. I could do with some Maltesers now. Okay, so some edible glue. And make sure it's in the middle. And then put it on. Maybe I'll lower the camera. Right, let's see if that helps. Can that go any lower? You love Saracino? Yeah, no, it is good. Right, so I have lowered the camera. Right, let me see. We will need a bit more paste. So I want to have enough for the ear and the little arms. So maybe I will make some white with it so that I can have lighter color for the little nose and the inner of the ear. Right, make it with this is white Saracino paste. You know, sometimes if you guys are doing other colors and your white paste is not white anymore, always save it and then mix it with darker color. You don't always have to throw it away or change the color to a different color. Right, so I'm just making it straight. Maybe I don't need so much. Let me put this aside, then I can use it in a minute. Right, let me see. There's some loose bit. So you can see as you are doing this, it becomes quite sticky. Okay. If you want the brown not so pale, you can add some yellow to it, and when you add yellow to it, it's kind of quite a nice color. Right, I'll leave that there and then continue to soften this. So how is everyone? I have done a online kind of class, a short class with Chik International yesterday. There's an artist there called, I hope I pronounce it right, Gary Pollard. He is a clay artist, and he's very generous and told us a lot about how wires and all that, if you want to build an armature and stuff. I mean, some of the stuff I already knew, but it is a very interesting class. Right, so I think like that. Then I will add a little bit like that. I mean, you don't need to do it this way, but this is kind of a quick way to do it. Hold on, let me get rid of the paste on my hand, because you've got the lighter color, you don't want a dark color on there. I think it's done. Then once you are happy with that, you press that in there. This is how I do ears all the time. I mean, there are quicker way, I guess, but I'm so used to doing this way. So once you are happy with it, I think I'm okay with it, then you will want to cut it in half, like this. Then you squash it a little bit, flatten it a little bit. So like this. Then on each side, for something so small, you don't need any support. I mean, you can make rabbit, dog, anything you like. Right, so something like this. Then we will add the little nose. Actually, I think that's too much. So you want a tiny little oval shape like this. Then this time I will use edible glue just in case it falls down on me. Then you press it. Right, make sure the edges are kind of flat, otherwise you make it look like the nose on a little pig, if you know what I mean. Then you kind of find the middle. Like that. Oh, sorry, my belly is rumbling because I have not had lunch yet. Don't know if you guys can hear it. Right. So you want to have a little tuck in the middle underneath the line. Hold on, I'm going to show you in a second. So like this. Okay. Then you want to use the dark color. Tiny, 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 tiny little ball. If you know how to make a teddy bear, you will need to know how to make any other animal, really. And then you go like this. Then like this. I have some edible bubbles. I was thinking for this size I can use tiny little bubbles, but I like it look more cute. So try to find yourself 2 same size bubble. I think these 2 are the same size. No, that one is like oval shape. So this is the thing. Sometimes they're not perfectly round. So find, that 2 is good. Okay. So, right, let me put that away. Then you use some water and then mark out where you want it to be. I like to do this first so that when the water or glue is showing, then it kind of, if you don't like where it is, then it's better that before you press it down, then you cannot change it after. So put your finger behind and then you locate there. Right, it's something like this, but you don't want it Google eye because it kind of stick out. So I'm going to press it in. So more closer to the surface. And because it's a teddy bear, it always have a stitch in the middle. Oh, wait, I need to make the hand. So I'm going to do a little stitch from the front of the nose. What? Can't see. Make sure it's centered. And then find the last hole you have poked. And then continue to the back. Okay, so if you can't, because of the nose, you can use a knife or a needle and poke a hole closer to the nose. You can do this before you put the face on, but I always do this because then I have better gauge if it is in the center or not. And I will add a stitch there because it's cute. Same again, if you can't get close to it, use your knife and continue with the hole. So now we have stitches that way and that way and the back. Okay, so now we will move on to the little hand. give him a little front patch, like light color patch. You should do this before you put it in, but I only just thought of it now. Silly me. Right, so just roll out some really thin paste to get it like kind of perfect shape you want. Right, I don't want it to stick to my hand. When things stick to your hand, when you try to put it down, it's always harder. Then get yourself a circle cutter or oval cutter. I have, let's use, I think this is too wide. What you want is you want the top curve, so I will do a little half circle cut, so it gives me a nice curve there. Then I will kind of cut there and there. Oh. Think. Oh. I think this is okay. Let's see if it is too long. Yeah, I think it's okay. So you want the round edges. Then, right, make sure you do this before. Oh my god, before you put this down, I always create trouble for myself. And then do that. Right, so I'll pick him up because I can't see. And then drop this in. Oh no. Right, slide the paste down to the bottom and make sure it is centralized. Right, you won't have this problem if you have done it right from the start, but I only just thought of doing it now. So something like this. Okay, I think I'm happy with this. Oh, sorry, I'm out of the viewing. Okay, I'm not going to fluff with it anymore. Right, there it is. And I just noticed that you want that flat there because we're going to add some headlight on there. So press that. Okay, now we will move on to the little arms. So you want to make two little sausage. tiny sausage, but you don't want it too thick because you want it to be proportioned for the bear. So you want kind of that like this. Okay, so I think there. Yeah. So you want 2. I mean, normally I don't think bears have fingers. Cute teddy bear. I don't know. You can give it thumbs, but I'm not going to. So something like this. Flatten the end, like that. Kind of flatten it, and then make sure there's no crease on the palm or something like that. And there's some glue on the side. For that length, you don't need any wire or anything. Right, so you want that there. I mean, everything is a bit soft, but it will still hold. Right, I want that arm a bit lower, kind of like there, like Mr. Cool. Like I'm cruising. Right, hold. Right, make sure your arms is kind of where the shoulder is. You want to press in because you want the head bigger than the body. If your arms stick out, then it's not as cute. So something like this. Then we will. Right, you know earlier we have that tube thing come out of the thing. So what I want to do is where did I put it? Right, I got this here. So I want to put it there like an exhaust. And then you want to, once you use the same thing, then you use the cocktail stick and then tuck it in. Like poke the paste in. And this, now it kind of hold the shape. I think there. I think once you cut it, then it to there. Ooh. Right, so that's a nice exhaust pipe. I think it's a bit long, but it's a toy car, so I mean you can use this method for spaceship or anything. So something like this. Ooh. Right, okay, so now we're going to move on to the front. For the front, I forgot to bring the acetate, but you could use, I mean if you want, you could cut yourself this type and then make a kind of like a seal at the front, but preferably you want something thick so that it is nicer. But I think I can make a visor, a red visor for it to finish it nicely. So let's move on to the red. Yeah. So just use a little bit. And you want, I don't like how the front look, so I'm going to add a piece there to finish it. So what you want is you want it like this, a sausage, and then you use a make sure it's kind of all level. Then you use something small. This is too big, because when you do that you can't see. So what I want is I want just the one side of it kind of thinner. I don't know if you can see. So I created a kind of a lip thing. Then what we want is we want to cut it there. So it's kind of like a nice shield, and then you want to make sure it is same. Right, I think a little bit there. So it's thin on one side and thick on the other side. Right, then because I don't like how that end, I will add it there. Oh, too long. Too long? Is it too long? Yeah, I don't like. Maybe a bit. Oh, maybe a bit shorter. Right, too long, because it's covering the steering wheel. We don't want that. Okay. I think that's better. I think it finished the car better on the front. Okay. So something like that. Right, then we will move on to, we will just give it some white headlight. Actually, I think grey will look better. Oh, white is fine. White is fine. I mean, you can have red and yellow at the back, but I'm just using white now. So I think use that for the little one, and then we want one of these at the front. That's too big, so I'm going to use that little one. Right, so it's this two size. Eileen, hi, 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 hi. Yes, you can watch it back later. Right, so I'm going to have one big and one small. Hey, oh, it's there. 2. Right, so what I'm trying to do is, if your front is not flat enough or not wide enough, you can press it to create more space for your circle to sit on. Or like what I'm doing is moving the paste sideways. So, oh God. So I'll make sure it's kind of fit. Okay, one side is wider than the other side, but doesn't matter. So round off the edges. Right, I'm not going to spend too much time to make them identical. So I'm just going to, because I can do the tidying up after this demo, otherwise you guys will be so bored. This is the thing when you're doing sugar work, or even clay or polymer clay, you can spend hours doing stuff. I mean, if you are making this, you can put a number plate on the front for fun. Okay, so that got there. You can give it wings if you want, just for fun. Right, so I want to add a number on the front. I am going to, I'm going to roll a circle first. I'm going to cut a circle. This time, you don't want your white too thin. So I mean, you can have it thin, but I want it like, give it a bit of volume. Right, and then I have this. This is called, I think it's called tapis. So you can do a number. So I want a number 3 on the front. So I need a circle cutter bigger than the 3. So after I cut it, then I can put the black number 3 in the middle. And that should sit nicely there. Okay. So that's that. Then I'll add some water. I will just put just enough for the middle, in case I want to take it out. Oh, you love this, Christine. Thank you. I'm glad. I was a bit worried that people will be bored. Too simple. So something like this, because I want to keep it like cute. When you make things too precise, then you will lose the element of toy. So use your tool to sharpen up all the edges. Right, so something like this. Then we move on to, I'll put that white there because it's kind of not very clean. I'm not going to put it back. And then I'll get the black color again. Honestly, I want to do black last, but I want to do this number thing. Okay. Thank you, Mona. Thank you, Polly. Very cute. Okay, so with this, let me move him over there. With this, the trick for this, for me, how to use it is your paste need to be thin. Ideally thinner than the thickness of this cutter. Because I know quite a lot of people struggle using this. And just when you use it, make sure your paste is thin. If it is thick, it's harder to get it out. So I'll make it as thin as possible because I want it kind of quite flush. So like paper thin. Okay, you see? Oh, how thin this is. Then use corn flour because you don't want it stick into the thing. Then I will slightly cut it to the width of the number. So this is the way I do it. I mean, you don't need to do it this way, but I do it this way. So a bit of corn flour there. Then, hold on, I got a bit of paste on my hand. I don't like it. Right, okay. So then you will press that down and then move. How to know it's ready? Is when your paste coming away and you can see clearly the number. You see how easy that come off? Then, if it not work, it'll be funny, but it should. So this is the reason this called the tapis or tappy. I forgot the name. You tap it. It come out perfect. This is the thing when people struggle with this is because your paste is too thick or you're not using modeling paste or gum paste. Your paste need to have a, how to say it, have a texture that it will hold the shape and the number. And I don't put glue on first because just in case I want it's wonky or anything, so I put it down first. Okay. So don't worry if you say, oh, there's a lot of corn flour. Just use steam afterward. It will get off, or you can brush it off, dry brush it off. So once you're happy with that, I don't even stick the whole number. I will just kind of like, oh God. Hold on. It's kind of like a shadow. So I want it there, so I slightly move it that way. You see, I move a little. Then I will follow the curve like this with the glue. Then I push it back in place. Once I'm happy with it, I will press it down. So now that side have anchored the number for you. Then you turn it to where it's convenient for you. Then you use something sharp and then lift it and then put a bit of glue underneath. Thanks for that tip, because I'm one of the struggles with it. Oh, good. Then you won't struggle with it anymore. I'm glad. Right, so once again, now you check if you're happy with it. You're happy with it, then you press it down. Black is always tricky because the black always bleeds when, how to say it, when there's glue or water. Okay, so something like this. Then, I mean, if you kind of have time, you can put another one there, or with something else, name, or I don't know. Then normally on the side there is a door. So I will just do a curve there. But then this time I won't draw. I will use a circle cutter so that I kind of got good curve. But you just have to be careful. Same again, you can do all this before you do any of this. But I always forget my steps. Anyway, so you lightly anchor where you want it to be. Then you draw and you draw it on. So if you have pushed it, if you push it in, just use your knife, tuck it back out. I mean, you will do a better line than me because the camera is right in front of me, I can't see. So it's something like this, I guess. And then you just use the end of this, make a little, kind of like a handle. Like that. And then you can do a straight line there. From there down. So same again on the other side, mark where the door is, so the top of the door. Then this time, so your curve, you want to curve it to the back of the body. So then this one we will curve it to the back of the body this way. I mean, if you do this before you put on the bear, it's even better. But sometimes I don't do it because I don't know if I have enough time for the video. And time-wise, we are doing okay today. And then just make sure that it's kind of like you check both sides. So you want your handle will be same kind of level. I mean, you can put some color in it to make the handle more stand out. And then you can add a line there because that is the boot of the car. I think it will need. Right, so if you want to put backlight on, just stick some white there. So now we are going to put the wheel on. Remember, I am only putting it on now because I need it finished. But if you are making this at home, you will want this dry completely before you put the wheel on. Okay, so you will need a straight barbecue stick, and what you want is, so I have poked a hole like this. What you want is, you want your wheel. So you want your stick the length of your wheel. You don't want it out because otherwise it stick out. But if it stick out, it's okay. You just add another piece there to cover the hole. So I want it there, kind of there. So I'm going to cut it. So I want 2 of these. So if you're using straws, try to use stick which is a bit thicker, because I think straws is much thicker unless you get thin straws. Okay, so right, what I want to do is I have some paste here, so pinch some out, because this is already hard and I want the hole to be filled completely. So what I do is I will add a bit of glue or water, preferably glue, on both sides, just in the hole. Then you will want to add some paste in there, like this. It might squish it back out, but you want the paste to fill the hole. The width of the wheel, is your spacer. That width there. Let me measure it for you. So it's about 1 centimeter. So what I did is I just rolled it there and then cut it out and let it dry. Okay, so then we will add some glue again there. Then where the hole is, you push it in. You see that it squish it out. There's a paste on the side. That is a good sign, because then it gives you a tight finish. Okay. Okay, shall we do the back wheel first? Oh no, I cut it too short. Okay, so you want your stick longer. Hey, how did I mistake in it? Okay, I'll do it this way. Okay, so I will mark it here instead because I have measured it wrong that way. Right, let's throw that away in the bin. Then kind of, I think, there. Let's cut it there and try. Right, so you see it already stay on the stake. I might make the wheel bigger later. I'm not sure yet. Right, I think I will make the wheel bigger later, but I'm just going to show you guys. So same again. Put some paste. You know what, actually? I wonder if that will work. Right. I do want my wheel a bit wider. Well, I'll just finish it actually. Put some there. I'll show you guys what I've done wrong in a second. And then I'll see if I can rectify it. So you see there's a kink there. Don't use that bit if you ever have. I can cut that off actually. Okay, poke it in the hole you made earlier. Right, so there. Right, so you see the because of the front wheel, it is much better, but then the back wheel is a bit higher on this side, so it's not really moving. So what I am going to do is, when you guys are making this at home, make your wheel slightly wider. Then when it is on the table, then you can roll it about when it is dry. So at the moment it's not dry, and I think the wheel is a bit short. But anyway, so you know what I mean. So these are movable. Once it is dry, then you can push it about. I mean, you can give it sunglasses or scarf, anything. Okay, so that's it for today for this little teddy bear toy car. I might add more things to it. I will post the finished car on my page. So thank you for watching. That's it for today. If you like the video, please share it. Thank you for joining me again, and I will hope to see you next Friday, same time, 2 o'clock. So this will be great on top of a kid's cake, I think. So you can give it a number plate or the name of the person you're going to give it to. So if you guys are making this, make sure that your wheel is much wider so that when it is dry, you actually can move the car back and forth. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.